Hi there. This is in response to Editoress on Tumblr. Your question was, do you have any advice to amateur writers as far as plot goes? Um, that is, to me, a very multi-layered answer because plot, number one, is the probably the most important thing about any story that you could possibly write. Some people might say, no, it's about the characters. I feel like characters, can transcend the plot. They can, but the plot is the most important thing about the story because if you don't have a plot, you don't have anything happening. You don't have a story that is going to entertain anyone, and no one's going to want to read it. You know, I just farted. Sorry. I don't think you could hear that, but it's not like you wanted to know. Felt nice. I'm not editing this, but um, next, as far as plot goes, always ask yourself two questions: why and how. Why, as in why is this happening, and then here's how we can get over problems. For me, when it comes to plot, I always think of the ending first. Where do I want to go? So I guess where, like who, what, when, where, why, and how. It's you know, a lot of questions need to go into plot. I always think about the ending first, and I think, how am I going to get there? I know where exactly I need to go. Now I just need to construct the maze of how I get there. Um, so, a plot is very important to me because I feel like I need something that will continually pull people into the story. And if I don't have things happen, then you're gonna end up with I'm gonna end up with a long stretch of boredom, and I'm not gonna be interested in what's going on. So everything has to be very relevant. Um, I can't for the life of me remember who said this, but my English teacher told me about a quote once in that if you have somebody say they had a gun on them, or if there is a gun described in the story, you need to have that gun be fired at some point. Because if you're gonna mention something in the story, it has to be important to the story. If you bring up a small detail of like a dream that a character had once upon a time, it has to be important. You can't just be, oh well, once upon a time they had a dream about weird telepathic aliens, and you're writing a story that's mostly about other things. Like why is that there? There's the why question. Why is that in there? Another thing I like to do, that I like to recommend to people as far as plot goes, is when you're thinking about plot, sometimes things pop up, and imagine any movie or book you've read where you were going along with the story and you said, but why did they do that? Why didn't they just go over here? Always ask yourself that question. I ask myself that question all the time. I will write something out and then I'll immediately stop and I'll go, why can't they just go over here? Or why is it they're doing it this way instead of going over here? And I always try to remember to ask myself that question so that I can say, well, this happened this way because of this, which I'll either find out, I'll reveal to the reader later on, or because the character is doing something in particular for that particular reason. Um, and so as far as plot goes, just remember to ask yourself, why is this happening, and how do I get around it? Now, where am I going, and what happens next? Because if you can get your reader to ask what happens next and go and care about what happens next, then you've got a good plot. That is always what is yeah. I'm a better writer than I am a talker. I don't know how this whole talking thing is gonna go, but I'm gonna keep giving it a shot. So that was 5 minutes of your time.